So here we produce wine. No surprise, I hope. But we
we're in
also
the wrong
like
place.
no, but we also like art. This is why we are receiving an exhibition from Vineyards. She's a French artist. So we received the painting from May to October, and every year we change. So you will see the paintings during the whole tour. So if sometimes you need to take a break or anything to have a look at it, feel free to ask also.
Are you selling them?
No, it's not for sale, it's only for sharing actually. So we will begin by the Bordeaux, so I can show you what you have all around you. Let's go.
Banyak painting. Orangnya suka painting. Iya, painting apa ini? Yeah.
Pieces. So now we are there. My arm's a bit too short, but yeah. Thank you.
Most modern
So
one.
we have two main reasons why we made these renovations. The first is that before we used to have 8 different buildings here, with some offices in each, so it was a bit difficult to work all together. Now we have all of our offices at the same place here, so it's more convenient. And second reason, and the most important one, it's about the technical part. Because now we want to work with gravity to make our wines. So it means that we don't want to use pumping machines anymore because we believe that it's a bit too aggressive for our wines. So we want to be more gentle. And to be more gentle, we needed this. So the Caz family, owners of the estate, chose to work with 2 different architects to make this building. So the first one was Pay. I don't know if it sounds familiar or not. Yeah? Well, his father made the Pyramid du Louvre in Paris. So here is the sun, and it's Lynch-Bages. So you can still see his influence. We have a lot of glass everywhere with pure straight lines. And when it's sunny, we have a lot of natural light. Well, today it's more or less the case, but usually it's quite enjoyable. So yeah, he made the shell, I would say, so the aesthetic part, and that's it. So it was a natural choice for the family actually because he's a friend of them. So it's always better to work with friends sometimes. And so for the technical part itself, it was another architect, a French one from the region, so quite local, Arnaud Boulin. And he specialized in the winemaking buildings, so they had to work both together 10 days only before the harvest. So right on time, no pressure, everything went as planned. But for 3 vintages, 17, 18 and 19, we still had to produce wines, obviously. It wasn't possible here anymore, it was a huge hole. So not very easy to make wine. So we have a temporary tank room. You can see it from the road, it's a big white building.
Yes.
It's not as fancy as here for sure, but quite useful. So here it's some historical buildings. We kept them because they're handsome actually. The one here is the one just there.
Yeah.
So we call it the harvest for the new building. I'm not telling you why, I'm teasing a little bit, but you will know it after. And here it's the chateau. So it's the house of the Caz family. They are still living outside, so we can see them every day. It's quite nice. So for the whites, very different. Only 5 hectares. So it's barely nothing, as I was saying before. It's a very small production, but we have 3 grape varieties: Sauvignon Blanc, Sémillon, and Muscadet.
Okay.
Quite common also. It works, so we don't change the recipe. 1750. A long time ago, and Bages, it's the name of the village. This is how they used to do before. Family name with the location name, and you have the name of the estate. So next to us there is another estate, Vineyards. Nothing to see with our estate, it's only the name of the location. So today the majority of the village is owned by the Caz family, because before it was the tradition. Every time we were buying a land, so here it was vineyard, but it could be anything else, we had a building coming with it. It was like the full package. Here it was like the farm of the land.
Yep.
Quite convenient here, they were all at the same place. So perfect. But at the very beginning, the Caz family didn't know it. So they were making their with me. And one day they discovered that they were owning the village. So nice surprise. But at the meantime, as they didn't know it, it was not in a very good shape anymore. So Jean-Michel Caz, the father of our CEO, launched the renovations of the village. So now we can see it as he used to when he was.
Kita nggak suka. Besan. Wait. Wow.
Elvitus. Kami. Ini kami kan.
Yeah.
I have to speak louder. If you cannot hear me, don't hesitate.
He's white.
80 tanks now, but before we used to have 39 tanks, which is exactly the same amount of bottles produced. So even if we have twice the amount of tanks as before, we don't make double bottles of wine. It's exactly the same volume produced. It's just that now we have more flexibility. It's a better tool, it's
Dulu
easier to
39 sekarang
produce.
80.
And also we can be more precise in our
Apanya?
winemaking because we can select
Nambah.
smaller plots than
Baru
before.
nambah.
So we have a more
baru ya?
precise
Iya.
blend at the end. So before talking about vinification, I will begin with the harvest because it's quite important.
Kehapus kan?
So we handpick all of our grapes. Red and white is the same. For the white, it lasts 1 week. We did it 3 weeks ago. Now all 5 hectares. But for the red, we have 105 hectares. So we need more people to harvest. So we hire from 150 to 200 pickers like this. So we are quite busy now.
Lebih banyak.
So we make a first selection directly in the vineyard. And then
Dulu di
we
sana.
put the
Iya.
in the
Yang baru.
reception area. So we begin with the distemming machine to get rid of the stem. Then we will only have berries. We have 3 sorting tables, 2 by head and 1 optical sorting. Because it's better, but we want to make it majority by hand still. So we select the grapes and only the employees to make it because it's not that easy to
Oh,
do
yeah,
with
good
from the big oven. And then the berries will go in the crusher. So we don't crush by feet anymore, I'm sorry to tell you. But it's very gentle. We just open the skin to release the juice and the sugar that we need after for the vinification. And now the berries are ready.
Lagi ada proses removing the skin, habis itu masukin
Now you see
ke
the
sini.
berries will go in the wagon, in the tank like this.
Ya.
And we bring this wagon up. So if you come a bit closer, up. It's this actually.
So kayak gitu kan?
So you see on the top we have cranes.
Iya.
We have 3 cranes. And the crane will come to pick the wagon to lift it directly on the first floor. So you see here you have one. It's here because it's charging. We have an electrical assistance because it's quite heavy, so it helps to move it as we want to. And so then we will put it on the top of our tank. We will scan a QR code to be sure that we put the good grape in the good tank. As we have 80, quite important.
Ya, keren.
If
Ya,
it's not
keren
the
ya.
good
Itu
one,
jangan ke atas,
we cannot
masukin
open
daun.
it. Like this. And if it's a good one, we can open the wagon. Gravity is happening, our berries will fall in the tank.
Itu diperes, habis itu
Quite
diangkat
easy at
airnya,
the end,
masukin
it's
di
a
sini
very
tuh ada crane-nya tuh di
step
atas.
of this gravity system.
Habis
Then we will make the first fermentation in
ada
tank.
jeruk nggak?
Or make it
Fermentation-nya di sini.
in. So we have natural yeast on the
Already
skin of the berries,
Pakai pas ini.
and they will eat the sugar in the flesh, and it's magic. We have
Ada
alcohol.
jeruknya.
Di depan.
Mereka
It's not
ada
that
jeruk.
easy, obviously. During fermentation, we have a creation of alcohol and also heat. And we don't want the tanks to be too warm because if we reach a too high temperature, we kill the yeast and stop regulate the temperature. So to regulate it, we have a double skin system of stainless steel, and we start we have this big rolling tube, and we can put cold or hot water inside to regulate it. Actually, it's easier if not, we push a button and it's 27 degrees. So during fermentation we have alcohol, heat, and the third one, CO2. CO2 will push the seed and the skin on the top of the tank, and it will create a cap. Then we also have what we call the free-run wine, but up to now it's not very concentrated. It's like a rosé wine. We like rosé wine, but this is not what we produce here. So we have to extract colors, tannins, aromas. And the three here are stuck in the cap of seed and skin. So we need more interactions between everything, and we will do what we call the pumping over. Now the word is not accurate anymore because we don't use pumping machines anymore. So we invented our own word, pushing over. Why not? So we have a system made for us to make this pushing, pumping over, to take the wine from the bottom, to put it back on the top, up, and it will infiltrate the cap of seed and skin, and this is how we extract colors and aromas. So it was made for us. You can see from here it's the pipe there. We cannot go inside because now there are full of pipes that don't want to touch anything. So to make it easy to understand, we have the cap on the top of the tank. It's quite heavy, so it adds some pressure naturally at the bottom of the tank. We have a pipe here at the bottom, so with the pressure of the top, we can put the wine back on it. We make a big shower of wine on the top, and it's by computer. We can say I want it to be twice a day during 20 minutes, and it's done. So we avoid the risk during fermentation with the CO2 and everything. We don't have anyone on the top. It depends on the grape variety, on the parcel, on a lot of things actually. This is the choice of the technical director and the cellar master. I cannot tell you, it depends. So now the wine is ready. We will empty the tank. We keep the wine obviously because it's wine, and then the cap will fall. We will remove it and we will press it. I will show you the presses after because it's quite far away, so we take the time to go there.
How long does the wine stay?
From September to December, more or less. So now we have the pressed wine, very concentrated wine. So up to now we have one grape variety in each tank of free-run wine, so it's separate, and exactly the same of pressed wine. So we have wines everywhere, and we will make the second fermentation in tanks. So it's the malolactic fermentation. It's the transformation of the malic acids that you have in green apples, it's quite acidic, into lactic acid linked to the dairy products. It's smoother and it's easier to drink. This is what we are looking for in our wine, and it stabilizes the wine also, so it's an important step. But before, they didn't know how it was happening. It was spontaneous. One year they had it, the other they didn't. It was good or bad luck. Now we know that it's a matter of temperature. So we need again our tank to control the temperature. It will be a bit warmer. Sorry for the yeast. They will die. They already did their job. We don't need them anyway. And we have microorganisms inside of the grapes, and we'll have this second fermentation happening also. And now we are in December. So September and December, 2 fermentations in tanks, and then it's time for the wine to go in the barrels. And the barrels are underground. So we needed a tool to put the wine from here to there. And actually we needed 6 tools because we have 6 elevators, but only for the wine. We still have to walk.
Iya. Ini bagus banget. Nggak kayak yang lain soal konkrit. Oh ini stainless steel, Pak. Oh iya, udah mati. Iya belum dimasukin.
The bank is going inside.
If it's
Now it's
experiences.
empty, but you will see it flowing and see.
Oh, here, there you go. There you go.
Oh, it's filling up.
So here is the tank, elevators, tanks, lift tanks, you call it as you want to. So this is where we will make our first plan.
So,
Like I was saying before, we only have one
Barrelnya.
tank,
Iya, di
and we
bawah.
program what we call the octopus.
Naik. Tuh, lihat tuh segini gede, Pak.
This way
Tuh.
because it has two pipes on each
Pak,
tank.
gede banget.
Only reason why.
baru
So
diisi.
we decide the blend and we will say
Ini
this
isinya
year I
diambil,
need
masukin dalam, Pak.
70% Cabernet Sauvignon, 20% Merlot,
Lihat tuh,
and everything.
dari atas masuk ke situ. Tuh.
Octopus, we
Ya
take
kan?
the wine
Gue
from
tahu.
each.
Iya, tadi ya dia kasih tahu tuh.
Then
Oh,
we
itu kan
put the
ininya,
elevator at the
selangnya tuh.
lower
Masuk ke
level.
dalam
So
sana.
here we are at the upper level. We put the
Wah,
elevator at the lower
dari sini
level.
naik tuh ke
And
atas
through
tuh.
the pipe very gently, the
Habis
wine
itu masuk ke sana,
goes in
tuh.
the elevator.
Tuh selangnya tuh hitam sini. Lihat.
So then we
Tuh.
put the elevator
Tuh, dalamnya wine tuh. Ya kan? Ya kan?
and up, as you can see.
Gila.
It's the direct
Soalnya kita pas waktunya pas lagi harvesting. Jadi bagus.
We can put the wine in each barrel. Each barrel also. And then the sweet here, they are at the lowest level that we have. Because when we finish the aging in barrels, we have to empty the barrels. So we need a lower level to put the wine with gravity inside of it. Because if you do like this, it works. But if it was at the same level, we cannot put the wine inside with gravity. So that's right. And then they can go up also. Because when we finish the aging in barrels, we have to put the wine back in the tank to automatic. So at the end, we have more or less 5 minutes.
Wah, ini motor
French oak.
Yeah, sure.
keren ya.
French oak.
We are fine.
Yeah, I know.
Terus habis itu, habis dari situ udah selesai ke bawah lagi.
It depends on the wine also. If there is a year, you should So, as you can see, this tank has a name. So it's the choice of Jean-Charles Caz, so our CEO. He wanted to bring a bit more humanity here, I would say. So it's the name of former workers of Lynch-Bages. Trying to pay tribute to them.
Nice.
I'm not on it yet. I'm waiting for my turn. There is a huge waiting list, so I'm a bit too young and I can wait. So yes, what does the game mean for sure? But the principle of gravity already existed before us. Because we know that during the 19th century, the already used to work this way. Without elevators, obviously, but already because we have our own technique from the 19th century. So I'll show you how it works.
Is it the first growth or the second growth?
Here is fifth.
Fifth growth.
Yeah.
Right.
Doesn't look like. So be careful, there is water on the floor, so please be very
Dalamnya wine. Dalamnya wine. Tuh warnanya wine kan? Ini
Say 10 years for planning this building.
Yeah.
itu di luarnya.
You can.
What's this place?
So here is the old tank room. Different smell. I think I don't have to tell you why, actually, it's quite obvious. So this building was made in 1860 and still used until 1975. So it had a long great life. Now it's retired.
Udah mau pakai lagi
We
sekarang.
don't use it anymore. And yeah, here we call it the Skavinsky tank room because it's Pierre Skavinsky at the time was an engineer and he's the one who had the idea to add this first floor on the tank room. For a few reasons. Because before they used to have a ladder on each tank. So they had to go up and down every day on 13 tanks. Exhausting. So it was easier to have an overview from. So it's a dangerous gas and it's a heavy gas. So it stays at the bottom. So they had more oxygen on the top to work in better conditions. They could breathe. It's quite important when you work. So now stainless steel is helping us to regulate the temperature. But before it was all wooden. So they didn't have the computers that we have now. So they had to work a bit slow. I don't say it too loud because they're working today. But it's true. So if it was too warm inside, they had to cool it down. They had to cool the temperature because if they didn't, we kill the yeast. No alcohol during 1 year. Not possible. So to regulate it, they were putting wet towels all around the circles on certain tanks again. It was not enough because then they had to throw cold water on it. So quite a lot of work to do. So here it was only exhausting but not very dangerous, I would say. But at the reverse, if it was too cold inside, they had to warm it up. And there is no 100 ways to make it in the 19th century. So they are making a big fireplace here. They took the ashes and they put it on the bottom of each tank. So they are making fire in a wooden place with CO2 and alcohol. Ta-da! It's still here. To me, it's a miracle. Actually, I don't know how they did, but it's still here. So yeah, today with 80 tanks, we are quite happy not to do this anymore. I think it's quite nice. This is why here, by the way, you have a door. It's not an invitation, I'm sorry. Because if you open it, you will be in the kitchen of the Cas family. So it's up to you, I never tried. But it's just to tell you that before they used to live very near the production area. They were here night and days. As they were making fire here, it was quite a good thing to be here as quick as possible. So it's still used, not for the same purpose, obviously, but yeah. Questions? No? So you can go up and I'll show you the rest. So we'll go there, but before I just want to warn you because we have rays on the floor, so be careful not to hurt your feet. I know sometimes you like to look up and you forget what's happening here, so it's safe, we can walk on it, but just be careful.
Ngapain?
Itu apa tuh? Itu apa itu?
Zaman dahulu. Zaman dulu nih.
So yeah, we have rays on the floor because Pierre Skavinsky before he used to work in the railway industry, so he had to add some rays everywhere he was going. But at the end it was a great idea because there were workers would roll everything on the floor. So I guess they were quite happy to meet him at the time. I don't know. I think he was French if he was here, but Sliabinsky doesn't
sound right.
Yeah, so I don't know. Good question. Red door. Now we're opening it. On the left there is a pulley system which is linked to the wooden basket. And thanks to this they are lifting the harvest directly on the first floor. When it was the harvest season, the wooden piece here was supposed to be in front of the door. They took the whole bunches and they put it on the top of the table. As you can see, it has holes. So they were rolling it by hand, and this way they only had the berries falling in the crusher and the stems on the top of the table. So it's all this summer. And this is a crusher. So we have to crush it only for the ladies. I'm not the one choosing. Only the women were allowed to crush the berries barefoot. Not that bad. And then we needed the men to push or pull the crusher. So not the best task. So they had to roll it on the floor. And this way, they could put it in front of each tank. There is a hole. And it's exactly the same here. So when they were ready, they were
Dari situ
opening
keluarin,
it,
masuk ke
and
sana.
then they could push the berries and they will fall with gravity inside of the tank.
Dari situ, masuk ke sana.
At the time, pumping machines were not invented actually, so they had to find a way. So then they were making the fermentation. I will say it twice, you already listened to it before, it was the same thing. And then, I told you we emptied the tank and then we have to remove the seeds and the skins. Now we have little doors. It's very important for safety because as I told you also, CO2 is a heavy gas. So it's stuck at the bottom of the tanks actually. So now we open the door, we let the CO2 escape, and then we can remove the seeds and the skins. We don't go inside anymore. It's too dangerous. Before they didn't have it, so the only way to remove it was to go inside of the tank. They could tell us at any time they were ready for everything to have wine. Some sacrifice, I think. So yeah, safety first. They were already working by pair at the time. So one man inside of the tank and the other one on the top to look after him if he was still breathing. So we hope that they were friends. Yeah, it can be easier. And twice security, the one going inside of the tank was always going with the candle. This way if he couldn't see anymore, it was time to go up. So very precise. So yeah, again, we are quite happy not to use this anymore. And then we hope that everything went as planned.
Orang ada yang masuk ke dalam, tarik, tarik apa itunya semua. Ada yang
orang masuk dalam.
Oh iya, ada yang di atas liatin yang bawah.
Ini pakai hidukan itu, dorongan.
Iya, katanya itu bahaya kerjaannya. Bisa.
And actually they were already gentle because they were not pressing from the top to the bottom, it was the reverse. Because if you press from the top to the bottom, you'll have this. And so we explode the seeds. We don't want to explode the seeds because inside there is a lot of bitterness. We don't want this bitterness in our wine, so they were pressing from the bottom to the top very gently. And then they had, the pressed wine all around flowing. Very concentrated wine. We take it and we blend it with the free red wine and we have the wine of the year. Sometimes it was enough, but sometimes we cannot control the weather. So we can have lighter vintages with less concentration, so they needed to extract more. But once we already did it, we have a big piece of cake, I would say, of seeds and skins. And it's quite compact, so it's difficult to press it again. So they found a way, they cut pieces of cake and they put it inside of the cylinder just here. So as you can see inside there is big teeth, it was rolling over, and with these big teeth it was breaking this piece of cake, and then they could press it twice to extract even more. So you see today it's the same, we have cranes to lift our berries on the first floor and we put it with gravity also in the tanks. It's just that now it's easier and it's safer also. Safety is quite important. But yeah, it's the whole inspiration. Because it has holes, it was to allow air circulation in the room, and also they could talk to each other. I'm brave today, I'll show you the window. Sometimes I'm not brave enough, because usually there is spiders inside. Not today. So it was to allow air circulation, also to renew the air. And also, as you can see, it's not very big, because they didn't want the birds to come inside to eat the grapes that they picked in the morning. Oh yeah, that's it. And it was bringing some light also, because it was really dark. See the windows here, they were not here at the time.
Udara ya.
Ya ganti udara.
Too thick, so they could press it again.
Oke. Sini lagi.
So from here you can see the top of the tank room, and also you can see our roof, which is quite uncommon actually. As you can see, it allows us to have a lot of light now. So we can work in better conditions. And Jean-Michel Katz always used to say that a worker in better conditions makes a better wine. As you can see now, we have wonderful wines. And you see, before it was really dark. So now it's better. So the roof has windows, and they are facing the north. This way we have the light without having the rays hitting the roof. So it's quite nice actually. And on the other hand, the others are facing the south. So up to now they are naked, but we would like to put solar panel on the top to make our own electricity. 2023 would be interesting.
That's the plan.
Yeah. And also this roof allows us not to use any air conditioning in the whole room. So it's natural. It's nice also. Energy savings, it's quite important. And there
Ini nggak
you
pakai
can
AC
see
katanya.
the
Ini
three
natural.
presses. So as you can see, it's quite different from what I just showed you, but it's the same purpose, it's just more precise. So they're all working the same, they just have different sizes. So we call it pneumatic pressing, because inside we have a kind of a balloon that we press the seed and the skin very gently. So it's power. So now we learn how to be patient. And then we receive the press line in the tank that you have on the floor.
Ini
You
copot-copotnya
can only
ini.
see the top, there
Copot-copotnya
is a
ini.
bigger button.
Kulit.
And here the yellow bag, it's called inactive, it's staying there. It's called inactive because it will be full of inert gas. So we use nitrogen. And so through the bag we bring the nitrogen inside of the press. So we push the oxygen out of it. And so we avoid any oxidation of our wine during its long process. So the wine is safe from the beginning to the end. And in the corner there on the left, we have very small tanks, and these ones are for the interns, for the they can make their own whiskey inside. So if they make mistakes, for the
Ini atur campur-campuran. Itu apa? Campur campuran. Ini kan dari 3 wine dicampur-campur. Ini kan 3 kan. Dicampur, dia tes coba yang enak. Dari situ baru di produce. Dia ngetes ya apa?
Mungkin ada ahli.
Salah satu.
So we go downstairs. It's being under, so you have to be brave, but it's the only way to discover.
Yuk.
How long have you worked here?
My first holiday. Very exciting.
You found the area?
No,
No?
I'm from Normandy,
Ah, okay.
and I made my studies in Burgundy. I don't say it too loud.
Don't tell anyone.
Yeah.
Tapi gila banyak banget. Ini lebih banyak nih. Eh, 2022 nih tahun lalu.
Our second label. So it's 1/3 of the production, and the two other third are left and right. Château Lynch-Bages. So we want 2/3 of the production. So for the second wine, we will use grapes from younger vines. So the roots didn't have enough time to go deeper in the subsoil, so we won't have the same concentration in our wines, and so it won't be the same aging. So we'll age the wine for the second 12 months with only second use barrels. That's it.
Nggak ada
And for the Grand Vin,
nggak ada
it's
pakai
different. We will age
nggak
it
ada yang
longer
dipakai
from
lagi barrelnya.
16 to 18 months.
Setiap
And
kali
this
baru
time we'll
terus.
use 75% of new barrels and 25% second use barrels. Because we want to keep a good balance in our wine, so it's not
Tuh.
only new barrels. I'm using my mind, I'm sorry.
Pabrik barel untung banget.
The wine
Banyak.
is in barrel. We still have to work, actually. You cannot see it today because we're quite busy upstairs, but usually this is where we work the whole year. So we have two main operations to do during the aging. Racking and topping up. The racking is because we have a deposit here. It's called Belize. It's the dead yeast and everything that we don't want to keep in our wines, and the only way to remove the yeast is to empty the barrel. It's not easy, but it's the only way. So today we only have one vintage, but sometimes we can have two at the meantime. So twice works, two stacks, so they make it every day. So I'm even more happy because I'm still not the one making it. So, racking, and I told you there is a second one, topping up. Because we have an evaporation of alcohol and evaporation of wine every day, it's called the angel share. The angels are quite thirsty, they drink every day. We forgive them because they have good taste actually, but we have to work more. So we'll sacrifice a barrel, we will put it, they call it the cow, don't ask me why. It's like a small tank with wheels, so we can put it everywhere. And so we will put wine back on the top of each barrel to avoid ways to make a barrel and even more, because there is never only one cooper in each company. So plenty of ways to make a barrel, so a lot of different influences in our wines. Oak, it's like a vine. According to where it will be grown, it won't develop the same aromas. Terroir is not only for the vine, it's for everything. And here we have a problem because we want you to have the same wine in every bottle. So we have to do what we call the final blend. We will blend every barrel together in the elevator again before the last trip this time for the bottle. And the wine is almost ready to drink.
Where is the oak?
French oak, but there is different forests actually, so I couldn't tell according to the cooper, they don't have the same oak. So here we use our barrels only twice, which is not a lot, so we know it. So we found them all the life after us. Just to give you an idea, when we buy a new one, it's more or less 900 euros. Now it's more than less because it's just like this. We need them to have all the life after us. And it's perfect, we will send it in other estates. And it fits well because the Class family has other estates in the south of France. Perfect. It stays into the family. They have Domaine de Sénéchaux in Châteauneuf-du-Pape and Domaine de l'Hostal in Languedoc. And the only contact with the wine is oak French oak, sleep. And here it's pine.
Okay.
Because it's cheaper.
Sure.
And it helps to consolidate the barrel because we have some pressure with the wine inside. And this is chestnut wood. Chestnut wood, castañas. So today it's only for tradition, but before it used to have a real purpose actually. Because a long time ago, when an estate was selling wine, they were selling it in barrels. And during transportations, they were not stored in places as clean as here, so they had to protect the barrel and so to protect the wine, obviously. This is the solution because chestnut wood is a smelly wood. So a lot of insects didn't like the smell, and this way they were not going on our barrel. And also, for the worms and the termites who love to eat the wood, they prefer chestnut because it's a tender wood. Oak is not tender at all. And this way, they were eating it, not the barrel, and the wine was preserved the whole
Ini kan
transport.
namanya
And
barel.
then they could have a drink after the shipment.
Satu
Very
barel
important.
kayak gini.
Iya.
Yeah. I think I told you everything.
So this is all naturally cooked.
Itu ke bensin apa
Oh,
barel?
here we have
barel
air
ini?
conditioning.
Yeah, very good.
Yeah,
That's
sure.
what I was thinking.
I won't lie, you can see
Produksi
it's very
satu
cold.
barel.
Even if we are
Bukan, ini
underground, we
barelnya,
need a consistent
maksudnya barel
temperature the
ini.
whole year.
Ya,
So during
ukurannya.
winter, we need
Enggak.
less energy. But yeah, it's 14
Lain lagi,
degrees,
itu kurang
and we have 80% of humidity now.
8%.
80, yeah.
persen.
But maybe in few years it will be thanks to the electricity of the roof. We hope so.
Dia tahu berapa liter.
So we can have a walk, we will get warmer.
Satu barel.
Excuse me, how many liters inside?
225.
200.
So it's 300 bottles each.
300 bottle each.
Yeah.
Yuk. Satu ini 300 botol.
So here you'll see we have some letters on the barrel. So here it's written ELB22. It means Château Lynch-Bages, vintage 22, the whole row. And there is LB22, it means Lynch-Bages 22. So we are sure to put the good wine in the good bottle. Could be interesting.
Hey.
So there is only one rule, is not to open a barrel. I have the lights.
Which one is this?
It's a private cellar we have.
A private cellar.
Not that bad. Have enough for a family dinner, I think.
I'm jealous.
Yeah, me too. Every day I have to look at it and I get
Berapa
very
liter? Berapa liter?
excited.
Banyak tuh.
So the oldest vintage is 1906.
Itu ini yang punya yang
And on
yang
the left,
punya
in the wooden boxes,
brand ini doang.
it's wine from
Apa?
other estates.
Family punya,
Because
family
it's
punya.
a tradition every year we exchange some bottles with the neighbors.
Botolnya banyak ya.
Neighbors, actually. It's a press for olive oil. Actually, I think it's interesting to see the difference between the two fruits because it's the same fruit. It's from the States in the south of France. We don't grow olives here because it's not warm enough, and I hope to never will.
Yeah.
So this is the Vineyards de Bages, as I was saying. So it's been renovated, as you can see, it's quite wonderful, so it's perfect. On the left they have, it's owned by the family, on the left they have the restaurant, to have lunch and dinner. And on the right, you cannot see it from here, it's the shop. So this is where we sell our wine. It's called
Ini
Bazaar.
village-nya dia.
Bazaar in French means mess.
Ini Bages village.
Bages
Village.
Every time I think that the word is to make it short because there is no.
And where is the hotel? The family hotel?
For the Union, I'm bad in geography. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. And the others on the right. We live in this right here. And we work with Vineyards also. Very traditions.
Wow.
For the glass I can.
Ini PAUILLAC. Iya. Magnum, double Magnum. What is it? What's the best? The biggest.
Nabucodonosor. It's 15 liters.
15 liter.
Yeah.
What is it called?
Nabucodonosor.
Nabucodonosor.
Yeah. Quite difficult to say even for me.
Okay. I used to buy the Magnum and double Magnum only.
Yeah.
Not a big one. This is tasting.
So here it's the three estates owned by the family in the Medoc. So they have Château Lynch-Bages since 1939. It's the very first historical estate of the family. And then they also have Château Lynch-Bages in Saint-Estèphe, so it's 10 minutes in the north. It's another appellation. They have it since 1941. So it's the second historical estate of the family. And more recently, they bought Château Bataillé. It's also a Grand Cru classé in PAUILLAC, 5th growth as Lynch-Bages. They bought it in 2017 to another French family. So you see we are quite neighbors because Château Lynch-Bages is here and Bataillé is there.
No, it's not far.
So yeah, and here it's the plots for Bataillé, but there if you look at here, it's the plots of Lynch-Bages, so we are very neighbors. And Corday-en-Bages is here.
So the 105 hectares are spread around.
Yeah, here you can see it for Lynch-Bages. Here it's the historical plots, I would say, that were all placed around the chateau. And then these ones were about after actually.
Okay.
The whites are here, so it's a bit more far away, but anyway it's in Vin de Bordeaux, because you cannot put Pauillac on the white wine actually, so that's it. I know I didn't talk about Sauvignon Gris. It's on purpose, it's not a mistake, because it's only one parcel and it's for experimentation, so it's not in the blend yet.
Okay.
Maybe later. So yeah, I'll let you have a look at the parcels and I come back with the wine. So don't escape.
Family-nya ini tuh, family-nya banyak. Family dia juga tuh. Batali sama itu Ormes Depes. Ini Saint ATV lain. Saint ATV dekat sama kita punya tinggal. Ini village siapa?
Iya.
Ini Bages village. Oh, ya itu kita makan di situ tuh, Cafe La Final.
So we begin with Château Lynch-Bages in Saint-Estèphe, so it's another appellation. 2015, it was a great vintage actually for the area, but this one is already enjoyable because it has a majority of Merlot.
Okay.
It's not very common, but here we changed the rules.
Like Saint-Denis.
Yeah, not like something. But yeah, we have a majority of Merlot. So we have 4 grape varieties. 49% Merlot, 44 Cabernet Sauvignon, 6% Cabernet Franc, and 1 drop of Petit Verdot. We have only 1%, but it's here. So we have a potential for aging about 20 years actually. So if you want to wait, you can. I'm not patient, so I like it this way, but it's up to you. 12 months of aging in barrels with 40% of new oak. But you will see the tannins are really well integrated. It's very easy to drink. This is why we like to begin with this one. And yeah, you'll see we still have a nice structure. It's still a Saint-Estèphe. It has its own character. And it's smooth, so quite enjoyable now. And yeah, I love the spiciness of this wine, but it's my own taste, so you don't have to. You will see the 3 wines are very different anyway. So if you like Bordeaux wine, I hope and I think that at least one of these will click with your taste. So are you all going to taste? Yes? 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, yes. So you have spittoons, just in case. You don't have to drink everything if you don't want to. I will try not to make jealous. Don't blame me. But I have 2 sisters, so I think I'm not that bad at it. I'm used to it. So you can take your task. Don't be shy. So you see the color, we already have a small evolution. We have some brown reflex. So it means that we already have an evolution, but you can still wait.
Ini dekat tempat kita tinggal.
Mustafa.
Hormais de Fresh. Saya pipi mah. Di pipi dekat tempat kita tinggal. Ini kayaknya paling murah deh.
Like it?
Fruit, yeah?
But I'm really not objective on this one, so I don't want to influence you. I think it's really easy drinking.
This you can just open and drink.
Even by itself. Usually we say about the wine you must pair
You
it
need
with
something,
food and
maybe
everything.
cheese or something.
I think this one is already really drinkable.
Because of the Merlot.
Character, they all good points actually. But yeah, it's my only personal taste. So
And how much retail is this wine now?
the 2 here more or less they have the same positioning. More or less, so it's around 40. Can be less, can be more,
Sure.
according to
Yang kiri dong. Ini jalan ini.
Tak konsel soalnya apa?
up. Back in PAUILLAC, back with our tradition, so back with the majority of Cabernet Sauvignon. Here we only have 2 grape varieties, 73% Cabernet Sauvignon, 27 Merlot. So you will see very different wine, not the same appellation, not the same everything. 12 months of aging with only second use barrels, and it's a 2016. 2016 was also a great vintage, you're lucky today, but it's already enjoyable because it's a second wine. Second wines are always meant to be drunk before the Grand Vin because we don't have
pakai barrel
the
yang
same
kedua.
potential for aging.
Nah, itu
So
satu.
here,
Itu
for
boleh
the Eco, we have 10 to 15 years of potential, but usually I say that for the 16, I think we can go for 15 easily. You see, we still have a lot of potential. We have a lot of fruits, as I was saying before, very fruity at the beginning. You have some acidity, and it brings freshness to the wine and also salivation. You feel it. And at the end, some tannins. We are back with Cabernet Sauvignon. But it's not too aggressive. is not too astringent. I believe that it's still already well integrated. Could be smoother for sure, but for it you have to wait. So I have to say that it's still young. I'm not saying too young because I think it's already enjoyable. But yeah, if you want it to be smoother, you have to wait. But the more you wait, different meals, different everything.
How do they choose what How do they choose what goes into the second wine in terms of the
It's
grapes?
with younger vines.
Wine. Sorry,
Yeah.
you did say
It's okay. It's a lot of information. So yeah, it's younger vines. Mostly.
Enak.
Yeah. I don't force anyone to drink. Dr. Luzan. Dr. Luzan in Mother Valley. Luzan, L-O-O-S, Luzan. They have wonderful wines, and I think for the price it's quite reasonable.
You like spicy food?
Yeah, but not too much.
Fifth
Château
growth as well.
Lynch-Bages is fifth growth.
Oh, fifth growth.
Yeah, it's not because it's the Grand Vin that
Oh,
it's
yeah. Yeah.
It's the premier of the
exactly.
Okay,
It's the Grand Vin, but it's fifth growth anyway. Yeah.
Classification determined in 1855 and never will change.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you learned well.
I listen.
Yeah, they're right thing. They change every 10 years, but here we never
Yeah.
change. I'm not choosing. So.
And Pomerol doesn't have any classification, right?
Yes. Bordeaux is very tricky.
Very tricky,
It's a whole region. You have three
Population,
left bank, right
Right
bank,
bank.
entre deux mers,
Yeah.
villages, different classifications. One will never change, the other every 10
That's
years.
why it's the most famous. Huh?
Ah, terrible.
Lots of complexity.
Yeah. And France in general because it's not the same classification. 2014. This time it was a classic vintage. So it's not a great vintage, but it's not a bad one. We don't have bad vintages anymore. And as I'm not patient, I love classic vintages because we don't have to wait so many years before enjoying it. So it's already enjoyable. We still have a potential for aging about 30 years. So if you forget your bottle or anything, it will still be good. It's in the good conditions. So 4 grape varieties this time. So here we only had 2. Here we have 4 again. Still in PAUILLAC, so still a majority of Cabernet Sauvignon. We have 69% Cabernet Sauvignon, 26 Merlot, 3 Cabernet Franc, and 2 Petit Verdot. Here we have a longer aging in barrels, and we have 75% of new barrels. So you will feel the influence. We have some smokiness. Yeah, toasty notes also, so it's a bit toasted. But you will see it's not overwhelming. We try our best the whole year to have good fruits, so we want you to feel it at the end in your glass. So to me this wine is all about balance. We have more complexity and we have a better concentration also because it's made with all the vines. So you see the final is quite long and the tannins are already well integrated, but as I was saying before, if you want it to be smoother with tertiary aromas and everything, you have to wait a bit more.
What do the family consider the
The
best
best,
vintage over the last maybe 10 years?
For the family, I couldn't say actually,
Or for the
but in
company.
Médoc, 2000 was a great vintage, 2005, 2010, 2015, 16,
Okay.
and 22 was a great vintage, but it's still in barrels.
22, okay.
Yeah,
What makes a great vintage weather?
yeah, weather. It's the only thing that we cannot control actually. If we could control it, it would be great vintages every year.
So 2023, very hot.
We don't know yet actually. I think it would be a great vintage also. We have nice maturity. 2022 it was
Ini yang mahal.
a great one because we had warm days and cool nights.
Yeah.
So the wine is really
Kalau
good.
di Singapura harganya mahal. Lain baik ke sini. Lain baik ke sini kalau di Singapura mahal juga.
On the nose you can already feel it, you can smell it, the oakiness of the wine, but you can smell the fruit still.
fruity.
I'll try and get it to walk.
Okay.
You're
Thank you so
welcome.
much.
I hope that you enjoyed it.
Yeah. Selesai, Pak. Thank you.